this beautiful museum and into this incredible hall. I'm pretty sure this is the coolest room that we have ever had a notice of reading in. So now, please welcome the paleobotanist who's obsessed with fossilized plants. He's the director of the biggest natural history museum in the world, and he's the host of Polar Extremes. Please welcome Kirk Johnson. So, I have to ask you this. I think everybody's wondering, did you tip that kayak over on purpose?
No. I'm a lousy kayaker. And when you see it in the show, there was a little ice cube, and I caught the paddle on the ice cube, and I just flipped myself over. And there's, as you see me go over, I get one gulp there. Unfortunately, I had the camera on the front of the kayak, so it was well documented. Deeply embarrassing.
But we didn't ask you to do that.
No, not at all. It was an accident.
Yeah.
You're under the hood.
Right. So, as I mentioned before, this show was your idea. Why did you want to do this? I remember we went and talked to you. We were in the cafeteria at the Smithsonian saying, what do you want to do? How about dinosaurs? Why don't we do more dinosaurs? Those are cool. And like, I want to do Polar Extremes. So why was that? Why was this such an important story for you?
I went to Ellesmere Island 36 years ago when I was 23 years old. It was the first time I went on a genuine expedition. It was a hairy expedition. There's 4 of us flew up and spent an entire summer in Ellesmere Island. And it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. It's an island the size of England that has polar bears and white wolves and musk oxen, and the ground is frozen to a depth of 1,000 feet. There's no trees. You're 1,000 miles off the nearest tree. And there are these incredible fossils. And we were finding fossils of crocodiles and turtles and snakes at that latitude. And it kind of blew my mind then, and I've never forgotten it. And when people ask me, what's the most amazing place you've ever been? I always say Ellesmere Island. But it's been 36 years. I just wanted to go back.
So this was just a big scam for you to get to know a different place?
Correct. No, I think what I realized was, too, that nowhere in the world better tells the story of our planet's Earth's past, because Earth's climate past, because here's a spot that is so incredibly frigid and cold, and there's really obvious evidence that it used to be warm and moist. And that, remember, I was there first in 1984, before climate was a big issue in our nation and our world. And I was a paleontologist, but it became really clear to me, hey, wait a minute, paleontology, in particular, paleontology of the Arctic, is a really compelling and obvious way to communicate the present situation with climate on planet Earth. So it's not just the climate of the past, it's the climate of the future.
So what was it like? We finally did get you to Ellesmere Island. It was quite an ordeal. And so how do you get there? And what is it like to be there? And are there any other, do people go there every day?
I'd say it's really hard to get to it. In fact, it was as hard to get to in the summer of 2018 as it was in the summer of 1984. You fly to the northernmost jet landing strip in North America, a place called Resident Cornwallis Island, latitude 75. Then you get in one of those little planes and you fly north for 500 miles. And then you look for a place to land. And the first time we went there, you just kind of looking around for a place to put the plane down. And the pilots would sometimes come down and touch the wheel on the ground and see if the ground was soft or hard. And we did the same thing this time. It was just like it. And when we landed, the opening scene where we're landing on the spot, it was a really nice, warm day. It's like 65 degrees and sunny. We're like, wow, this is going to be great. And then the plane left and it started snowing. And it was July. That's the key. This is a place where it's dark and cold for most of the winter, and in the summer, it's bright and cold, and there's about a 1-month growing season for the plants. Those little tiny Arctic willows, which are this tall, they grow, they start growing in July.
Are those trees?
They're woody, but they're not really trees. Anything this tall can probably be called a tree. It's like a junior bonsai or something. But literally, they grow for about a month, and then their leaves turn color, the leaves fall off and drop half an inch to the ground.
So they're deciduous.
Yeah, so they're really, they are deciduous little tiny woody things. It's the only woody plant on the entire place.
So, of all the places that you went on this, and we sent you to a lot of places, what was the most extreme? Is Ellesmere Island the most extreme place?
In terms of what it took to get a film crew to that spot, we were as far away from any sort of help as anywhere else. Even when we went to Antarctica, we had a Chilean base nearby so we could get help. But in this spot, when the plane left, there were, what, 1, 2, 3, like 8 of us, and the nearest human was literally like 500 miles away.
Kirk just mentioned a little tiny tailbone found in the Antarctic Peninsula. But there are other dinosaur fossils that have been found in Antarctica, right? So tell us about those. Where in Antarctica and what kind of dinosaurs?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a record of those Cretaceous dinosaurs, like the ones in Patagonia and the peninsula, but most of those are marine rocks, so we don't get a good record, just kind of enough to tell the different flavor of dinosaurs there. But,
so remind us what the Cretaceous was.
So this is the final period during the age of dinosaurs. We're talking about 70, 80 million years ago. But if we go to the Transantarctic Mountains that cut across the continent, there's a sequence of rocks there from earlier during the age of dinosaurs, including from the Jurassic, where we've got a bunch of really complete dinosaur skeletons.
So most of Antarctica is covered with ice. So I think you just have to find these little bits and pieces of it where you can actually get to rock. And if you go to any place with rock in Antarctica, you're going to find fossils.
You know, one of the cool things about Antarctica, it is a nice continent. There's little rocks that poke through it, and little rocks around the edge. And people have been going there looking for fossils. And the fossils you find, just like the Arctic, are not fossils of cold time periods. They're fossils that look like it was a warm, at least a temperate, kind of forest. And not just the Cretaceous, but the Jurassic, and the Triassic, and the Permian. So one of the patterns that emerges is that for long periods of time, in fact, for 75% of Earth's last half a billion years, the poles didn't have ice. Which means that guys like me can keep going to Antarctica looking for more fossils, because you find as many fossils as you look for. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like how much time you put into it. How many times have you done this?
I've done 3 expeditions now.
And how many more times have you go?
As much as the government will fund us.
So do you find dinosaur fossils every time you go now?
No, our last expedition, we were actually rocks older than the dinosaurs, from right after the end Permian mass extinction about 250 million years ago. So like Kirk mentioned, we were kind of coming out of a warmer period with a lot of coal swamps, and it was getting a lot drier in Antarctica. And we have animals from right after that mass extinction that are telling us basically how that extinction played out at high latitudes in deep time.
So were these dinosaurs that were roaming around right across the pole, were they as big, do we think, as those big dinosaurs in Patagonia, or were they little mini dinosaurs?
We don't really know, because that Patagonia is known from one location. There's several individuals, but it lived in a place that was close to Antarctica, and Antarctica was connected to South America. And that big guy could go wherever it wanted. Like, where does an elephant sit? Wherever it wants to, right? And the same with those big dinosaurs. So I think that if we get the opportunity to find more rock, and that's really the challenge of finding fossils in Antarctica, is finding where there's rock exposed, because maybe there's nice covering.
So how many fossils have we found? I mentioned, do we find entire skeletons, or just little itty-bitty pieces?
Oh, we have entire skeletons that are unfortunately being crated up to be shipped with the exhibit downstairs right now.
Okay.
But yeah, we have entire skeletons from the Triassic period, from the Jurassic period. For dinosaurs, more partial skeletons from the Cretaceous, but there's also amazing marine reptile skeletons that are from that time period as well.
So one of the things which kind of like dawned on me as we were making this show and talking about it, so we were talking about these periods of time when the poles were warm, the whole Earth was warm and the poles were warm, so they were lush and green. But there's still the poles, which means in the summertime, it's light all the time. In the wintertime, it's dark all the time. The sun does not rise. So how do we sustain these lush forests filled with plants, and then these giant animals that rely on these plants? Or did they all commute to the equator when the time came? Or did they go the other end here?
Yeah, so that was the greatest thing when people started finding these fossils, like, well, it doesn't make sense because it's still going to be dark. And if it's dark, why isn't it cold? That's the first thing. So it turns out it got dark, but it didn't get cold, which we don't fully understand yet. And the second bit is that the animals and plants lived there through that time period. We find their fossils of little tiny animals that couldn't migrate or commute or immigrate or whatever you want to say. And you can think about it, like, how could they spend the entire winter in darkness? But think about today. If you go to alternate day, there's muskox and polar bears and wolves that spend the winter there, where not only is it black, dark, pitch black for 6 months in, but it's also minus 80 degrees. So it's actually pretty much easier to spend the winter there if it was warm. At least you have to worry about the temperature. And the trees themselves, since they are photosynthetic, like golf trees are, they would probably drop their needles in the winter because, why bother having needles if there's no sun?
So most of the trees that you find from back then that are in the Arctic and in the Antarctic, they're deciduous. They're the ones that drop their leaves?
It's actually harder to tell than you might imagine, because a deciduous tree drops its needles in the winter, and it can be a conifer or broadleaf tree, whereas an evergreen tree molds its leaves all year round. But when you find a fossil leaf, the leaf has fallen off the tree into the ground. So you can't tell if it's deciduous or evergreen, but it's on the ground. It could be either, because evergreen trees occasionally lose leaves as well. So it's a bit of an argument. And one argument is that trees might just lock their leaves down and keep their leaves on during the winter and just not do any photosynthesis, because it is expensive for a tree to grow new leaves every year. So if it's short growing season, it might make more sense if your tree just like flip the switch off and go to sleep in the tree kind of way. I don't have trees to sleep, but that's generally.
Yeah, some of the sites that paleobotanists have been working in Antarctica in these Triassic rocks where we have fossil forests, they've actually studied kind of tree rings and the growth patterns, and it has shown that these things are kind of going dormant and slowing down. So it's almost kind of like taking the bear approach to these trees in Antarctica.